just for one more day. Just for one more day. That song just really opens my heart. When I heard she was going to sing it and I listened to the lyrics, I actually shifted my talk just a little bit. This morning, when I was on my way here, I came upon a heartbreaking fatality on I-75 South. I was heading north, thankfully, but the interstate was shut down. And at the moment that I came through, the deceased person was still in the road. And just lying there as we drove by. It was startling. It was startling. It was really unexpected, and it just kind of gripped my heart. And many police officers, and the road was completely shut down. And I just dropped into praise for everyone involved in that situation, because they didn't have one more day. They didn't have one more day. We all want one more day with someone. If we think back over our lives, someone will pop into our hearts and our minds that we would like one more day with. You know, sometimes that someone has already made their transition. They're no longer on this human plane. And sometimes that someone is just removed from our current life experience by distance, or perhaps a choice that they've made or you've made. Because it's Mother's Day, let us recognize that sometimes that someone is our own mother or a maternal figure in our lives, and sometimes if we are mothers, that someone is a child, our child. But what are we really wanting when we ask for one more day? Perhaps we're deeply wanting the opportunity to have a conversation that we didn't get to have. Or perhaps we're just wanting time to hold a hand that we cannot hold. Or perhaps we're wanting another meal together. We're longing for physical time with someone in order to feel more complete and more whole in our mental experience of them. We're usually longing for love and wanting the time to do something about the love we feel for that someone. Here's the truth about life. We only have this day. This right here, right now day. And we only have this day with the people we choose to bring into this day. And many of us spend a lot of our energy with our minds in the past or in the future. Now, when we send our energy back to the past, it often looks like regret or dwelling on disappointment or even reliving memories that we cannot change, nor can we experience them again. And we feel so helpless when we're living in the past, because we are helpless to change anything about the past. And when we send our energy into the future, what does that look like? It looks like worry or fretting about possible disappointment that might happen in the future, or stress that might happen in the future. We can also spend our time in the future just kind of imagining or wishing for things to be a certain way somewhere down the road in life. And we feel so helpless when we spend our time in the future, because we are helpless to make the future do anything. Today is the only day we have. And if we can gather up our energy and keep it in this day, we need not feel helpless, because we have tremendous power to create today, to make a difference to ourselves and to others today. And we can do that creating in the presence of people we choose to have join us in this day. So how do we bring people into this day with us? Those someones that we want to have one more day with. We bring them into our day in lots of ways. We can bring people into this day by waking up beside them, right? Or walking into the next room and bringing them into our day with us. But we can bring people into this day by leaving our homes and sharing common space with them out there, or inviting them into our homes and sharing that space with them. We can physically bring people into our day. But we can also bring people into this day through technology. We can call them on the phone. Most of us don't do that anymore, but we can email. We could send an email to someone, or we can text or message them, and we can respond when those things come our direction, right? And in any way that we connect, we bring people into this day. But we can also bring people into this day doing more subtle things. We can bring them into this day through choosing to remember them. Or we can sit and think about a person and bring them into our mental experience of this day. We can pray for a person, and we can take that deeper and take them. Sometimes in meditation you can call forth the essence of someone and actually spend time with them and converse with them and communicate with them on a soul level. See, we get to choose what people are part of this powerful right here, right now day. And you can have one more day with anyone you would like to have one more day with. All it requires is a choice. My talk title today is Love Indeed. Now you can take that phrase a couple of ways. You can smush the last two words together and say love indeed. Or you can keep them separate and read it love indeed. Either way you phrase it, it means love in action. And bringing someone alive in your day is an action that you can take right here and right now with anyone you love, even if they call you. It's all good. Bringing them alive and present in any of the ways that I just described is an action based in love. So I'll say bringing someone alive in your day is an action you can take. You can take it right here and right now with anyone you love. Bringing them alive and present in any of the ways I just talked about is an action or a deed based in love. And that's the only place you can start, but that is just the start. What comes next? Now that you have someone in this day with you, what do you do about that? So whether you wake up beside someone in the bed or bring someone into your life through your physical presence with them, your emotional presence with them, your mental presence with them, or your spiritual presence with them, something always comes next. So what is yours to do? What is your love in action toward or with that person that's a part of your day? The thing is, we wish for another day with those we have not completed our actions with. And since this is the only day we have, let's make sure that we don't look back on this day and wish we had taken action for ourselves and others. Wish we had been more loving indeed with the people that we share this day with. So how can we take this day and love as much as we can? And I have some suggestions. That's what ministers have. They have suggestions.
Thank God.
In ways that we can, and hopefully these suggestions can help you be love in action in ways that can be transformational for you and for the other person involved. And the first suggestion I have for you is to just show up. Just show up. Showing up fully in the presence of anyone you bring into this day is a powerful action. Look them in the eye and be with them. Watch them as they move in their physical body and experience the stimulation going on around them. Observe them. It's so loving. And if you're connecting in more subtle ways, be with them fully on whatever level you're connecting at. If you're connecting emotionally, be with them, or spiritually, be with them fully. Give them your undivided attention. This is an action that can only be born in pure love and compassion. Time is the greatest gift you can give to anyone. It's one of the non-renewable resources on this plane of existence. We have so many things pulling at our time and our attention, yet what is more important than giving the present moment to the relationships that we are in? When I was a young manager, I had the idea of having this open door policy, right? And I wanted members of my team to know that they could come to me anytime and make their requests or have their questions or concerns or ideas. I kept my door open all the time, except when I absolutely had to have some private interactions and didn't want to be interrupted. But for the most part, my door stayed open. But it took me a while to train myself on what an open door policy really meant, how to live with that open door. Yeah, I had a door that was standing open, but it was really hard to not stay focused on the task on my computer or whatever I was doing, whatever report I was looking at or whatever. That's where my attention lied, even though someone had come to the door. I found that interruption kind of distracting, right? But as I matured in management, I began to understand that nothing was more important than the person who'd made the effort to come through that door. I learned to take my hands off the keyboard and literally turn away from the screen and look at that person in the eye. And actually I learned one of my favorite phrases. You'll hear me say it all the time. I'll say, hold please, which meant give me 2 seconds to finish my thought and then I'm yours, right? Most of them would apologize. They're like, I'm sorry to interrupt. And I'm like, no. My reply soon became, nothing is more important to me than you are in this moment. What's up with you? Nothing is more important. And it takes practice to be fully present with another human being. But I can tell you that if I never see those team members again, I know that I truly spent those days with them. No regrets. No regrets. So let's have that open heart policy with everyone. You might have to stop and say, oh please, while you clear your head. But then turn toward the person near you and give them your truest self. Another suggestion I have for you is to step into radical forgiveness. See, no matter who you're in relationship with, they are a human being. They're learning their own lessons. They're healing from their own missteps. They're experiencing their own pain. They are dealing with internal stuff you will never be privy to. They're going to step in it from time to time. They might step in it every time. You know, I saw a quote from Oprah online the other day, and it said, true forgiveness is when you can say, thank you for that experience. Thank you for that experience. People are not in your life to be complicit in your mediocrity. They are here to give you experiences that call forth your growth and your magnificence. Let me say that again. People are not in your life to be complicit to your mediocrities. Thank you for that experience, beloved. Thank you for that experience. One of the things that we most want to go back in time about is forgiveness work. You know, we want to explain our missteps. Now that I know better, can I talk to you about what I did, right? We want to actively forgive another person in our fresh awareness about how things happened in the past. That hindsight's 20/20 thing, right? See, most actions become more understandable with the passage of time. And if you're living with events and happenings that you find unforgivable, I invite you to please seek assistance in doing whatever inner work is necessary to free yourself and to free that other person from that prison of pain. I don't know anyone who is truly healed that hasn't had the assistance of therapeutic relationships and practitioners and counselors and all that kind of stuff, major conversation to release history. So if you haven't done that work, I really encourage you to do that. As you spend time with someone on this right here, right now day, live in active forgiveness. Live with that heart. Allow the people in your life the room to be less than perfect. They're going to step in it. Create boundaries for yourself so that you can take care of yourself before there is anything to forgive. That's a big thing, because it's important to remember that every single experience you had brought you to this place. Every painful experience and every joyful experience was for you. And each person who played a role in your experiences was with you by divine appointment. You called them forth. And you can't have very many relationship-centered life lessons without people to be in relationship with. And it's often the people who created your original life lessons experiences with you that you wish you had more time with. Most of us can't do all of our processing work about a life lesson in the immediate moment. We can't. We need some perspective. Working through things that are difficult take time. And sometimes when we're going through the processing of the difficult stuff, the other parties involved leave our lives, either through making their transition or by moving away physically or emotionally from us. They came and did their part and they're off the stage, right? And by the time we wake up and forgive, the other person might not be around to hear about it. That's why doing energetic, emotional, mental, and spiritual connecting with them is really the only way to heal it and let it go. Forgiving them can be an intentional release of all of that. And time takes perspective. It takes time to find perspective. On Facebook yesterday, I posted a picture of my mother and my daughter. And my mother in that picture is the same age I am now. Right? And so when I think about all the stuff that I had going on with my mom at that time, I was thinking, she's wise and, she should know all this stuff, right? I'm that age now. So it's very interesting work to have perspective. But the beautiful thing about forgiveness is it frees everyone up to show up as they are today, not as they were any day before this day. I could do a whole talk about forgiveness. I probably have, and I probably will, but I want to move on. So another way to be fully alive and actively loving with the people in your life today is to always look for the good. Look for the good. Kathy had a line in her song about looking for the good. So often we automatically drop into our critical perspective when we're around others. We tend to be on guard. We're just like waiting for something to not be right, especially around certain people, right? It's not just me, right? Okay, just making sure. I remember receiving this advice as a parent. It said, when your child enters the room, they should see on your face that you adore them. So before I got that advice, I was the type of mother that noticed the hair or the outfit. I would say things like, are you really going to wear that? And then she walked into the room. Like, I was critical from the first second she walked in. Okay, sometimes I still do that, but I'm still learning too. Now we FaceTime and I'm like, really? Okay, anyway. My heart is that I want her to see pure love in my expression as she walks towards me, as she might extend my presence. I want to continue to notice the good in everything that she does. It's easy to notice the things that are out of place. Our brains are trained to do that. We quickly spot a pattern that's broken. We see colors that don't match. And just as easily we can notice when someone says something a little off, a little off-putting, like our antenna go up. We catch mistakes very quickly, especially if we care greatly about the role this person plays in our lives, especially if we're engaged with that person. Bring people into your day-to-day and look for the good. Let them see the love in your expression towards them, but also point out that what you appreciate about their presence in your life. Remember the good times you've shared and the things you're looking forward to sharing. Just look for the ways their life is working for them. Trust them to know the ways it's not working. You don't have to point that out. They've got that. Train yourself to see the light of God that is present in each and every person you encounter, but especially those that you choose to spend this day with. The fourth suggestion I have for you is to be generous. Be generous. When I look at the relationships in my life, the ones that I am most satisfied with are the ones in which I am the most generous. Giving freely of myself to others feels so satisfying. I used to be the kind of person that kept score. I would send a birthday card and I would get snitty if I didn't get one back. Or I would drive to lunch and then I'd be frustrated that they didn't offer to drive the next time. I would visit and I'd expect that, okay, now it's time for them to drive this way and visit me. But somewhere along the way, I learned a spiritual truth. I learned the spiritual truth that I am in relationship with all of humanity at the same time. I send my generosity out on the web of life through one person, but my good will come back. Who knows how? Sometimes it's with that same person, But often it comes in from just another direction, surprising me. You know, I eventually learned that being a generous person overall meant that my good was going to be coming to me from all different directions. But my job was to be generous in the moment that I'm in. Each person is an opportunity for my generous nature to be expressed with all of humankind. And if I have seemingly missed that opportunity with someone, I trust that in this right here, right now, powerful day, I can choose again. That's the perfect thing to know, is that this day kind of stands alone. So as you call forth people to join you in this day, decide right now to be a generous giver. Everyone has something to give. Offer your support. Hug the other person first. Give a compliment. Pay for the meal. Bring a gift. Offer an apology. Treat them to something they enjoy. Pray with them and for them. Choose to connect with whomever you want, but do it from a place of absolute generosity. Allow life to flow through you and love to flow through you to everyone you connect with. But the most important suggestion that I have today about connecting with others is to keep your heart open and to approach other people with peace and love in that open heart. It's easy to allow our hearts to get kind of crusty, right? Life can be demanding, and feeling everything there is to feel and thinking everything there is to think just wears you out. But keep your heart open. Invite Spirit to help you keep your heart open, to soften it and make it pliable and willing to love. Ask God to infuse your intention to have a peaceful and loving heart with the energy of all of life. Hold that intention, energized by God itself, as you actively choose to love others. You have this day. Use it wisely and lovingly. Be fully present. Forgive every little thing. Look for the good in every second. Figure out how to be generous and keep an open and peaceful heart. Be the love. Love is all there is. Love indeed. So I'm going to close with a beautiful quote by Ernest Holmes. Let it be our prayer today. My desire is that everyone I meet will feel the warmth and color of my affection. My purpose is that a feeling of goodwill shall pass from me to others. Today I embrace the world in this affection and desire, so that good shall come to everyone. Ernest Holmes was quite a writer. So as I end my talk, let me wish my own mother a happy Mother's Day. She watches my talks in her home in Seattle, so just indulge me in saying, I love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.